Funding provided by Fairway Meat and Grocery is a proud sponsor of the Iowa Girls State Softball Championships. Fairway believes in supporting the places Iowans learn, work, live, and play. Congratulations to all the schools and student athletes in this year's games. By Musco Lighting, the sports lighting specialists, providing lighting systems for you, your project, and your community. We've had a beautiful day, and we are on the way to a beautiful evening in Fort Dodge as the sun starts to make its way down on the silo along the banks of the Des Moines River. We're at the Harlan and Harlan Rogers Sports Complex on the north side of town, the final game of the 2020 season. It's Class 1A. Collins-Maxwell and Clarksville in a rematch of the 2019 state championship. We'll do it again. It was so good last year. We'll try it here in 2020. Hello, along with Laura Leonard, I'm Paul Yeager. Glad to have you here with us on this final game of the season, the shortened season that it was, Laura, and why not go the way last year ended with a rematch between these two great 1A schools?
Anytime these two get together, runs are at a premium. It's usually a one-run ball game. That's what it's been over the course of the last few years. So I expect a pitcher's duel here today, and it's going to be maybe 1-0, 2-1. It's going to be an exciting way to end the 2020 state tournament.
Clarksville got here with a couple of heroics in the quarterfinal round. They are on their fourth trip to state. 9 starters returning from that 2019 team that was state runners-up. They are the top hitting team in 1A with a .404 team average. Corey Wedeking, a 5-year star. She's got 100 career wins, 1,000 career strikeouts. She's also scored 1,000 points in basketball. Great athlete. She's going to have to face a great group of similar last name pro players for Collins-Maxwell. They're the 2-time defending champions here in 1A. All but one of their starters returned. Troy Hoag's daughters, Michaela, Alexis, and Erica. There will be a quiz. Sort them all out. All you need to know is Michaela Hoag. She was the 2020 Gatorade Player of the Year. And she too, 100 career wins and pretty darn good herself with the bat.
And welcome to Rogers Sports Complex and this 1A championship game between the visiting team, the Clarksville Indians, and the home team, the Collins-Maxwell Spartans. Let's meet the non-starters and assistant coaches. First of all, for the visitors from Clarksville. Number 3, Maya Baker. Number 4, Katie Campman. Number 5, Molly Bloker. Number 8, Sienna Kepper. Number 9, Mackenzie Bloker. Number 11, Taya Jacobs. Number 17, Lauren Kelm. And number 25, Lily Cobb. Your assistant coaches, Taylor Aronholtz and Kim Wedeking. And now here are your starters for the Clarksville Indians. Leading off and playing shortstop, number 7, Cheyenne Behrens. Batting second in center field, number 15, Janet Borchert. Batting third and doing the pitching, number 14, Corey Wedeking. Cleanup hitter for the Indians, doing the catching, number 24, Ainsley Lovren. Batting fifth at first base, number 1, Emma Poppy. Batting sixth at second base, number 6, Chloe Ross. Batting seventh, the designated player, number 12, Rachel Borchert. Batting eighth, the right fielder, number 10, Jenna Myers. And batting in the ninth position, the third baseman, number 2, Kaylin Hardy. Your flex player in left field, number 16, Sierra Vance. Head coach for the Clarksville Indians, Katie Wedeking. And now let's meet your non-starters and assistant coaches for the home team from Collins-Maxwell. Number 1, Avery Fricky. Number 4, Janae Jones. Number 6, Angela Calkins. Number 9, Carrie Baldwin. Number 10, Kenzie Weirson. Number 12, Marissa Bogie. Number 14, Isabel Hill. Number 15, Sophie Watsonville. Number 18, Ava Decklever. Number 20, Mary Stout. Number 21, Vivian Kaler. Your assistant coaches, Jean Birchmeyer, Tim Wilson, and Tanya Leslie. And now here's your starters for the Collins-Maxwell Spartans. Leading off and playing shortstop, number 2, Alexis Hogue. Batting second in left field, number 7, Emma Kaler. Batting third and doing the pitching, number 5, Michaela Hogue. Cleanup hitter for the Spartans, the catcher, number 16, Reagan Frenzen. Batting fifth in right field, number 17, Ella Kaler. Batting sixth, the designated player, number 19, Ava Myers. Batting seventh at second base, number 8, Olivia Pasquarello. Batting eighth at third base, number 11, Erica Hogue. Batting ninth in center field, number 3, Trinity Stover. And your flex player at first base, number 24, Braylon Tankersley. Head coach, Collins-Maxwell Spartans, Troy Hogue. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please turn your attention to our home plate area. Our umpiring crew, as assigned by the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union for this 1A championship. At first base, Russ Hemsley. At third base, Steve Ebert. And calling the balls and strikes, Arnie Kruko. All right, who's ready for championship softball?
These two teams know each other extremely well. They could probably give each other's lineup if they had to. They played last year in the state title game, and they're playing again this year tonight. And here are the lineups for you as we get you ready. This is the 5th time since 6/22 of 18 these two have played. Emma Kaler, Trinity Stover, and Ella Kaler in the outfield. Erica Hogue, Alexis Hogue, Olivia Pasquarello, and Braylon Tankersley as she has entered the game and will play in the field. Reagan Franzen behind the plate, Michaela Hogue in the circle. What's Hogue as a pitcher like, Laura?
She's tough. She's really tough. I mean, she's got a lot of stuff, and she's going to go and continue her career at the University of Virginia, but she has a lot of different pitches, a lot of spin on the ball, fastball, curveball, rise, change. Great command of her pitches.
20-1 on the year, 209 strikeouts. Opponents batting 91, and her ERA is 41.41. Pretty good record. But this team of Clarksville will try to bring some bats. They scored a lot of runs in that semifinal and that quarterfinal game. And here's the lineup: Cheyenne Behrens, Janet Borchert, Corey Wedeking, Ainsley Lovren, Emma Poppy, Chloe Ross, Rachel Borchert, Jenna Myers, and Kaylin Hardy. What's Clarksville have to do to win tonight?
Get timely hits. They know that runs are going to be hard to come by, and when they get the opportunity and get runners on, they need to move them around and limit the errors. In the regular season game against Collins-Maxwell, they had 4 errors. That was costly for them. They have to be flawless here tonight defensively.
Very few teams have won 3 in a row. Can Collins-Maxwell do it?
Well, they have to play solid defense, and they don't get a lot of credit for their defense because they're playing behind a really good pitcher, but their defense has been good all season long, and you're going to see them pressure with speed. When they get the top of the order on, they are going to run. That running game against Akron and Westfield gave Clarksville some problems in the quarterfinal round.
4 teams have won 3 summer championships in a row. Ankeny, Lisbon, Dallas Center Grimes, and Assumption. Collins-Maxwell wants to add their name to that list. If they could win tonight, they open up with a first pitch strike to Cheyenne Behrens. She's a .507 hitter. 7 home runs, including 1 against Akron Westfield to win it in the 8th back on Tuesday night. That second pitch is fouled into the net, and it's 0-2 quickly on Cheyenne.
And it wasn't your run-of-the-mill over-the-fence home run. It was an inside-the-park home run to right field, and she said she's never run so fast in her life to get around the bases and get to home plate to win the ball game.
That pitch from Hogue sails out, and that's what you would expect from a pitcher with great location like Hogue. But the problem is, in the quarterfinal game, her dad said, you know what? She wasn't on that night. We still won, but teams hit it well. So it can come and go. They're hoping she's on. First ball in play is across to third, and in time, Barron's out by half a step, if that, as Erica throws across to Braylon Tankersley, out one.
Boy, letting that ball come to her almost cost her, but she's got the strong arm very close over there at first.
You're listening for the sound, as first pitch was at 7:38 tonight. It is a beautiful night tonight here in Fort Dodge. Janet Borchert bats, the senior, playing center field, 400 hitter, 21 RBIs, 77 degrees, Laura. Would you have thought that's what we'd have on the last day of July?
No, and I'd take it all summer long.
You've got a sweatshirt, I've got one ready. That's from scouting last night when I know that Molly and Brad were getting a little chilly. And Chris is saying yes to our stats here to our right. As you can see, a little bit of distance between where Laura, that's me, Laura's over there. And then we've got other crew that side. There's one camera. There's Chris on the right with stats and the headset. He's been passing notes all day. Yeah, we're close, but not quite. Yeah, I've got short arms. I'm just, you were the basketball player. I just watched it. Ripped again towards Hogue, across the field to Tankersley, 2 away. All right, what do you make of 2 round ball outs to third? Does that mean anything? Does that mean they're seeing her well?
Well, they're getting around on her, but and doesn't look like she's changed speeds a whole lot on them. But you know, these teams know each other fairly well. They've seen both of these pitchers these teams have, and so they know what to look for and where to look in the zone. But they're testing out the 8th grader fairly early in this ball game, knocking a couple hot shots to third base.
When you play a team 5 times over a 770-day period, now they are conference, just 2 different divisions of the Iowa Star. So they do have that one conference game. So this year it ends up, you know, we talk about not having those conference tournaments on the weekends. You hope your conference gets you ready for postseason, and this one was a good conference matchup earlier this year.
Well, they've been low-scoring games between these 2 teams, and been 1-0, 1-0, 2-1. In the championship game last year, it was 3-2. So a few more runs scored, but still a 1-run ball game. And I watched back that championship game from a year ago. It was exciting. It was a fun game.
Great game. And Katie Wedeking, you know, I asked her, the coach of Clarksville, you know, what do you remember? What do you want to repeat from that? You know, I said, besides not winning. And, you know, the experience, that these girls know what they're doing. Well hit into the air, but just not very far. Underneath it to make the catch is Pasquarello, and Clarksville goes 1-2-3 in their half of the first. These 2 teams, as we said, have played, and they also know the defense of Clarksville. Vance in left, Borchert Janet is in center, Myers is in right. Kaylin Hardy at third, Cheyenne Barron's great glove at short, Ross at second, Emma Poppy at first, Ainsley Lovren behind the plate, Corey Wedeking in the circle. Corey, she's been pitching since an 8th grader. She knows where Fort Dodge is, and she knows where the championship games are held. What's she gonna have to do tonight, Laura?
Well, she's got to be hitting spots, and she's got to work the ball around, change the eye level of the hitters, keep them off balance, show them a variety of pitches.
Again, an ERA of .36 and a batter's average opponent is under 100. In 1A, something can be said about pitching. There's just not a lot of great pitching, and these hitters have feasted on some not great pitching over the year. Alexis Hogue, Emma Kaler, Michaela Hogue, Reagan Franson, Ella Kaler, Ava Myers, Olivia Pasquarello, Erica Hogue, Trinity Stover. How many times have we seen a team come in to the 1A state tournament and get bounced by good pitching? So to see two great pitchers in the title game is going to be something special tonight.
Here's just doing a little research, looking at these two teams. Clarksville, Collins-Maxwell are number 1 and number 2 in hits allowed, runs allowed, earned runs allowed, and walks allowed. That tells you that their pitchers are always on spot, on task, working the zone. They don't walk a lot of hitters. They don't give up a lot of runs. They have good defense behind them. So if they are getting hit, the defense backs them up. These two teams are very good all around. It's not just pitching for these two teams. It's very good, solid defense behind these pitchers.
Alexis Hogue rolls over on the first one to Wedeking, who throws over to Poppy, one away.
And that's a big out, even though it's the first hitter of the ball game. It's a big out because you put Alexis Hogue on, she's gonna run. It's automatic that she's gonna try to steal a base.
Against Lisbon, Clarksville committed an error on the first play of the game in the semifinal, and they also gave up an error in the first inning. Line shot right back at Wedeking by Emma Kaler, and there's 2 away quickly. In the quarterfinal game, Clarksville was down 4-0 against Akron Westfield. Error in the top of the first opened the door for 4 runs. So it's a whole different start for Clarksville here.
And you know that from years past that Akron Westfield is a team that likes to run, and they put some pressure on this Clarksville team. That caused them some problems. That's why they gave up those 4 runs, and that's why it was such a big play for Barons in the top half of the inning to get that out and then come back up and hit that home run. But so with pressure on and runners on the bases, Clarksville did not respond very well in that quarterfinal game.
Michaela Hogue up the middle, and we'll have a courtesy runner. Avery Fricky will come in and run.
Number 1 courtesy.
Courtesy runner at first.
So Fricky to first on the courtesy run. Avery is a sophomore. There's a look at Troy Hogue. He's got his clipboard with his numbers.
Number 1 courtesy.
He calls.
We go 253, 253.
So 253 has a meaning. It could be the first number, the second number, the last number. Could be take, could be steal, could be a combination of factors. Let's see what 253 means. Looks like it's a steal. Throw down to second. Not in time. Ball came out of the glove of Barron's covering. And Fricky down to second. Got a good jump.
Got a really good jump, and that's exactly what she's in there for, is to run the bases. Throw just a little bit late. And tough to handle, is in the dirt.
I think if that stays in the glove, I think she's out.
I think she might get that sweep tag and get the back of her before her foot touches that bag. But that was it was a tough one to handle. It was in the dirt, short hop, have to pick it and make the tag all in one.
Reagan Franzen down 0-2 in the count. The junior. They're going high with her. They've gone 2 pitches high.
Illegal pitch. Need to bring it in a little. You're out of the chute. You need to bring it in a little. Okay.
So there's a chute there. And you can't be outside of it. And the umpires are looking for that. That's part of what the home umpire looks for.
So you get the illegal pitch.
So now it's...
So
hit behind the pitcher, but hangs up enough for Barons to make the catch. To end the inning. No runs for either team. And there were few runs in last year's 1A championship game. There were a lot of dancing by both of these squads beforehand, and part of it is because we had a little rain delay, and it was an exciting back and forth game. And there's Fricky scoring. Fricky did score the go-ahead run in the bottom of the 6th, and so it was a 4-3 win. And so when we talk about illegal pitches, this is kind of what we're looking at. We have looks from left and right. Outside the chute there.
And a big lost contact, and all these pitchers do because it's a big push off, but that was excessive, and they do let you have a little leeway, but that was excessive as far as getting airborne, leaving contact, losing contact, getting outside the circle. And the chute that they have, sometimes you'll see lines drawn there. They used to, I don't know if they do so much anymore in the pitcher's circle, that you kind of have to stay within that zone, that chute area.
And the dirt early on gets walked on, accidentally rubbed out. Some of those lines, like for a slapper, might take out that, might dig her feet in at the front of the batter's box, and it's gone soon. And
it's just, it's so easy to do.
Comebacker to Hogue, over to Tankersley, and Lauren is out. In the consolation diamond, Linville-Sully in 5 innings downed Lisbon 10-0. Linville-Sully got beat by Collins-Maxwell, and Clarksville knocked out Lisbon. So that's how that is, and this is the final game of the 2020 season. This was the first game of the tournament last year on Thursday night, and now they're the last game of Friday night. And any clouds we had, Laura, they are gone. That ball is hitting the sun at a 2 to 3 different spots as it comes in, and it just lights up like a big green sphere as it hits the daylight right before the plate. Kind of cool. Poppy fouls it off. Emma Poppy plays first. She is a senior.
Had a pretty good tournament so far, 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs in the quarterfinals, 1 for 3 in the semifinals. So swinging a hot bat, getting some hits for this Clarksville team.
Ball.
She was part of the 5 straight hits against Lisbon the other night. So hitting, how many times have we said it, is contagious?
Well, it really is, and they made some really good adjustments in that ball game. They took the time to study the pitcher and see what they needed to do, and were able to finally get some solid line drives.
Poppy hits it in the air towards Kaler, who pulls it in for the second out of the second. Emma Kaler, Trinity Stover, Ella Kaler. So if you say Kaler in the outfield, you have 2 out of 3 chances to get it right. And the same can be said if you say Hogue, it's going to be one of those 3. Could be Michaela, the oldest. We saw a future Iowa Hawkeye pitch, and now we're seeing a future Virginia Cavalier pitch in Hogue. Right now, we got Chloe Ross at the bat. And there's another strike.
Interesting how she ended up at the University of Virginia. Is she was seen and asked to come down to a camp at Florida State, and went to the camp at Florida State, and that's where the Virginia coach saw her and started to follow her through high school and travel ball, and continued to maintain contact with her. And she built a relationship with that coach down there, and decided, it's a beautiful campus. It's hard to turn down when you go down there, and that's where she's going to end up, at the University of Virginia.
First strikeout of the game for Hogue is the 3rd out of the 2nd inning. So the Indians have gone in order the first 2 times at bat here at the 2020 State Softball Tournament in Fort Dodge, and their fans, along with all the other fans when they've come into the park, they have seen some signs here of safety guidelines and strong hand washing and dugout precautions with wipes, and aerosols there and bleachers where you can, it's a go, no-go seating situation. And even in the concession stand, you see a lot of stuff painted on the floor, on the pavement. You see players. As I was between games, you could see a lot of people in masks there, as this season did start 3 weeks late, and it was shortened, and a couple of teams said no, and you heard a couple of players go play for somebody else off of those schools. And 26 teams were impacted by COVID-19. 11 of those had to end their season early. We did have no teams with confirmed cases in Fort Dodge this week. Between games here, you would see, I think a lot of fans will wear them when they are coming and going from the park, crossing over, different fan groups. I saw a lot of Clarksville people in masks when I came in, because they're on our right side, Laura, where we were walking. And, you know, again, masked by the media, asking questions of these reporters. You see microphones on big booms. You don't see the back and forth that you would normally see. And, you know, some of the guys and gals in radio that I've known have said, you know, yeah, I just don't do the in-person interviews anymore. I can do a lot on the phone, and that's what they've been able to do and try to contain any type of spread.
Well, we always find ways to overcome things, and you know, mere 3-4 months ago, nobody knew what a Zoom meeting was, and we all do them now. And you know, again, that may be something that may stick around, and people utilize that rather than doing those in-person interviews.
Slap towards right. It's going to get down. Fair ball. Ella Kaler rounds first, headed for second. She's in with a stand-up double to start the Collins-Maxwell second inning. And she says,
Just takes it to right field. Barrel of the bat kind of drags behind, but it's beneficial to her as it drops into right field, and she ends up at second base.
So Braylon Tankersley will come to bat now. She's playing first tonight. She was listed originally in the game as the flex. Gets the bunt down. It's booted by Hardy. Throw to first in time. Sacrifice works, though, moves Kaler to third. That's the opening, Laura, that almost opened further on that bobble.
Well, and a good job of Hardy staying with it, not panicking, getting at least one out. Runner at third, gonna have a quick little meeting in the circle.
They only got one out.
I bet they.
You want to try? You want to go third?
I don't care.
Let's try it. It's early in the game.
Maybe have Emma stay back.
Emma, stay back. You two switch. We'll try it. It's early in the game, and we got plenty of time.
A little bit. I think if it's a bunt,
Good? We can try it. Thanks.
Is that coaching by committee?
That is, but I like it because you get buy-in from the players and you get consensus, and everybody feels comfortable about it.
Katie Wedekine in her 6th season.
So Behrens has moved over to third base from short.
Ball.
Is that right? Did I? Yes, and Hardy's over there at shortstop now. They flipped.
They like the glove of Behrens. They think that is one of their best gloves.
And you heard Coach Katie Wedekine say, you know what, it's early, let's take a chance. Let's see if it pays off for us, and why not? They know they have the bats that if they do give up one run here, it's yes, you give up that one run, but you have the opportunity to come back because you do have the hitters in your lineup.
And she says if you want to switch back, you can. So we'll see after this pitch if it gets to be a strike, if they do switch back.
I think they're just concerned that if they do try to squeeze that run home, maybe Behrens with a better glove, and here they do. They do switch back now to their regular positions over at short and back to third.
And now they change the call down at third, Coach Hogue. So now maybe he sees the defensive switch and he'll have them put the bunt down. And they are. Popped up, and it's going to get just out of reach of Lauren.
Yeah, why not gamble? I mean, a little cat and mouse between both teams and both coaches. Trying out a different strategy, and then the other coach counters with their strategy.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
I think Collins-Maxwell feels strong enough with their bats. They'll bunt with 2 strikes. We'll see what they do here. 2-2 swinging away. Pasquarello is out on strikes. Climb the ladder.
And that's absolutely what she did. Look at where that ball starts and where it ends. That was at eye level when it crossed the plate.
It's up to Erica Hogue. Runner at third, 2 outs. Hit towards second, hangs up long enough for Chloe Ross to make the catch. Collins-Maxwell leaves a runner. We played 2 full innings, no score.
They might hold them from squeezing. Thinking.
After 2 complete, we have no score.
So these pitchers, like Erica Hogue in super slow-mo, we've had a chance to see her play a lot at this state tournament.
All these pitchers that we've seen here today just have great control and understand how to control a game, and they do a lot of scouting, know who they're going to face, and especially in this game, they've faced each other a lot, so they know the personnel coming to the plate and how to pitch to each one of these hitters.
Rachel Borchert, the freshman, will bat. Hogue has faced the minimum, 6 up, 6 down. We thought it'd be good pitching, and so far, it has.
Ball.
Batting .424 is Rachel. Swings at that pitch that kind of broke back over the plate at the end.
You know, these pitches are being called from the dugout, but it's fun to watch location and where they're going with these pitches and how they change from high to low or inside to out, up to down, down to up, and just trying to keep these hitters, the eye level changing all the time. And it takes great discipline to be able to just pick a zone, look for the ball to be in that zone, and try to put bat on ball.
Hogue's pitch is high. The last thing you want to do as a pitcher is make the batter feel comfortable.
Yeah, you don't want to give them any advantage. You want to have the advantage when you're the pitcher. You've got to, that's why it's so important to get ahead in the count, get that first strike on a hitter. Then you can kind of control the rest of the at-bat.
Orchard strikes out. Second strikeout of the game for Hogue is the first out here in the third. That'll bring in Jenna Myers.
Orchard goes down, strikes for out number 1. That brings up the right fielder, number 10, Jenna Myers.
Myers, a freshman. There's a new crop coming here for Clarksville. There's a strong senior class. You're either a senior or a freshman on this team. The only odd one is Cheyenne Behrens, and if you talk to her long enough, she might call herself the odd one. No, she's a fun personality. Like she told you, Laura, about how she was out of breath after that home run. Never ran so fast. She was honest. I love it when a girl is honest like that. And I've never run so fast in my life.
What a great feeling, though, to be able to make a great defensive play in the top half of the inning and then be the first one up to the plate, hit the ball to right field, it gets by the right fielder, rolls all the way to the fence, and she just turns on the Jets, and they sent her, and she was able to score and win that ball game in advance.
Myers behind 1-2, and the changeup has worked well so far for Hogue. She throws the rise ball out of the zone. Check the wrist, check the grip, let it fly. Nice pitch. Strikeout number 3.
Hope's starting to feel comfortable. Look at the movement on that one. And it's fun to be able to see it in a little bit slow motion, trying to be up there at the plate and try to catch up with these pitchers. I don't know how any of these hitters are able to get solid contact. They're just so good.
Who do you think has the advantage when you've played 5 times in a short amount of time? Pitcher, batter?
You know, I guess I kind of feel like the batter might have the advantage because you've seen a pitcher and you've seen their stuff so much. It's just up to the pitcher to be able to change the pattern and change things up a little bit. They know the hitters very well, so on the other end of it, they know what they're facing and where their weaknesses are and how to pitch to that weakness.
She's got the hole in the inside. Nope, hers is on the outside. Hers is up. The 1-2, swung on, missed. Hogue strikes out the side. Man, what a pitch. No chance there for Hardy. So we've shown you Hogue in super slow motion. I think we got to show you Corey Wedeking.
And you can look at, she still maintains contact with the ground, gets good push off from that rubber. If anytime you go airborne and you lose contact with the ground, they're going to call an illegal pitch, and she does keep that toe dragging, and she gets great extension and great push.
It's the hop there. Mentioned it in the open, just the athlete that she is. 1,000 strikeouts, 100 wins, 1,000 points in basketball. Not many people do that.
No, and she is, she's just an all-around athlete. I think it comes natural for her. And she comes from a family of athletes. Her sister's the coach. They have a great working relationship, and 10 years separate the two of them. And Coach Katie Wedeking says that she really kind of learns a lot from Corey, maybe more so than Corey learns from her. And she said it's just been great, and has not really had the opportunity to think about the fact that Corey's going to graduate and move on, and that connection's not going to be there after this year.
We don't fight because we're not close enough in age.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot of truth in there with your siblings.
Well, it's been a family affair. A lot of the Wedeking family has gone through this system and played softball.
Hardy gloves the bunt by Stover for the first out of the bottom of the 3rd. And remember, they used to have the 3rd sister, Kimberly, as a coach. And she was a good pitcher too, played at Wartburg. But Katie says, you know, I coach too. I wasn't near the pitcher that these two were. So I said, which one's better? That was a tough question, but she goes, you know, Corey's got some potential, and Corey is, you know, still kind of contemplating options here in the future about just exactly. This year has kind of changed some things.
Well, and you talked about the fact that she could go and play basketball, or she could go somewhere and play softball, and I think it's a tough decision for her of what she wants to do, and does she want to continue with softball, or does she want to pursue basketball? And I think she has got to make that decision, obviously, fairly soon, within the next couple of weeks, of what she's going to do and who she's talked to and how she's going to handle that situation.
Coaches have been here all week, and hit back up to Wedeking, over to Poppy, 2 away. as Alexis Hogue has gone back to the pitcher both times tonight on that slap.
So the timing's down because it's going right back up the middle, but it's right at Wedeking, and she has a good quick glove to knock it down and throw her out.
2 outs for Emma Kaler. They start her with a little bit of a breaking ball. Kaler hit it on the nose right back at Wedeking back in the first. Bunted, fielded by Wedeking. Over to Poppy. 1, 2, 3 goes Collins-Maxwell in their half of the third. To the fourth when we return.
Hello, I'm Paul Yeager. This evening, for one night only, Market to Market moves to Iowa PBS World so you can watch the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union Championships on Iowa PBS. So if you just want to watch Market to Market, switch over to Iowa PBS World on our .3 channel tonight at 8, or catch us online anytime at iowapbs.org.
Side the defender was fantastic, withheld the challenge, lots of strength.
Bury it with the defender right on her and Brown.
What a Fakli on the volley, left foot. Dipped it up as we have a look at this. What a brilliant delivery by Wee, and Brown coming in.
This evening at 9:30 on Iowa PBS.
Clarksville fans, their shirts match the softball. They light up the night with those guys. You can see them at night from miles away. Spy Satellites called and said, hey, can you turn those shirts down just a little bit?
They are bright.
Well hit to deep left. Home run over the left field wall. Guess who hit it? Cheyenne Barron. She can take her own pace around the bases this time.
Well, this is the more traditional type of home run than what she hit in the quarterfinal game. This one, she goes down about calf high, knee high, able to get out in front and power it out. That was about belt high. And puts a good swing on it, muscles through it, knocks it out of the park.
Guess what number at bat that was for Clarksville? For Barron's. It's the second time through the lineup. Kind of like what you've been talking about, Laura. Sometimes that second time through, even if you've seen somebody, gives you, no matter what the result was the first time, gives you confidence the second time. And like we saw in the 3A championship game earlier today, one pitch was the difference. As Albia's Jenna Lawrence hit a home run, and that was the only tally that Williamsburg gave up.
Well, she's definitely having a good tournament here in 2020. Last year, she was on the all-tournament team, and she was 7 for 10 in those 3 games. So she swung a hot bat a year ago, continuing that here in this tournament to give Clarksville the 1-run lead. That was a shot.
Janet Borchard up in the count, 2 balls and a strike. Corey Wedeking on deck. Swinging and missing is Borchard. I said, is it Borchard? 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 And she says, anything. I've been called everything.
I know, we like to get it right, but I like the fact that some players just go, yeah, you know what, if you're close enough, if it's a tough name, if you're close enough, I'm good with it.
Strikeout for Hogue, 5th of the game. 1 out in the 4th, brings up the pitcher. Popped up on the right side to second the last time she was in the box. Go ahead.
Oh, in the game earlier this year, Collins-Maxwell won that. We talked about that. 2-1 in 8 innings. And they had 5 hits in that ball game. They had 5 stolen bases. and Hogue had 10 strikeouts in that ball game. So kind of expect that type of game to unfold here. You have to know that it's going to be close, that both these pitchers are going to get their strikeouts. The one thing for Collins-Maxwell, they have not been able to get their leadoff hitter on in Alexis Hogue to start putting the pressure on the bases.
Michaela looks to the dugout, checks the wrist. I'm going to guess up and out, or down and out. But that's where they'd gone with the first two. The comebacker over to first. They'd been going in the zone, and then they got her to look down.
And both of these pitchers are fielding their position very well. They are ready. As soon as they let go of that ball, they get themselves in good fielding position, and we've seen several comebackers right up through the middle, and the pitchers have been able to glove them.
The catcher, Ainsley Lauren, bats. One of 5 seniors in this starting lineup. And every once in a while, you'll catch Hogue. She'll look and she'll give some type of eye contact. Like a couple of pitches ago, she tapped herself saying, that was on me, I missed. And there she was, you know, kind of indicating, I think it should go up. I mean, there's that back and forth. When you have that the communication can sometimes be pretty darn good. Some families, it's not. Popped up. Hogue is going to grab it, but it's Erica in front of the dugout for the third out. One hit, though, looms large. Back underneath the bleachers here at Harlan Rogers Diamond 1. I'm Paul Yeager. That's Laura Leonard. She's resorted to the sweatshirt.
Got a little chilly out here. You have to be able to have a little warmth, but it's a beautiful night, and what a great way to end this 2020 softball tournament. In a game like this, it is going to be very close all the way through.
And so far, good pitching, but it could just be one pitch that makes the difference.
We saw that in an earlier game, in the first game of the day, where it was just one pitch. We saw that again. Home run. Can Clarksville make that stand up for the rest of the game?
We've got our own lights, got our own cameras, we've got our own tables. We've got some distance.
It's kind of nice.
Yeah.
Have a little to put all our stuff on.
Yeah, because I usually have a whole lot of stuff.
You have more stuff than I do usually.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, a few too many pieces of paper. You think I will say, I've boiled some things down. I'm learning on the go what to keep, what not, what's important. And I'll tell you, these games, you haven't had to really work at figuring things to talk about because we've had such good games. That Albia Williamsburg game 1, that one went pretty quick. The second game was blink in that second inning, 4 runs for Ogden, and then we got to see the all-tournament captain of Class 2A, Denali Lecker, launch one towards the parking lot, and we've seen Cheyenne Barons in this game hit a home run. 1-1-0 for Clarksville, 0-2-0 for Collins-Maxwell. That's Wedeking. Off speed, hit softly towards second. It's a race fielded by Poppy. She wins to take Michaela Hogue out. 3-U.
That could have been a little bit of trouble, but Poppy commits to fielding that ball and then putting it in her glove and winning the foot race over to first base.
Just say it, Laura. You know you want to. Poppy with the hoppy. That's what I really think you wanted to say.
Poppy with a little hoppy in her step.
Yeah.
Got to the base.
Reagan Franzen. Off speed, hit again towards short where she went last inning. That pitch Barron's arm, Laura. Not only is it her glove, but man, that ball gets across the diamond in a hurry.
She makes good decisions out there at short, when to charge, when to stay back, but she does have the strong arm. She has good range. This time just charges it, stayed down on it, fields it real cleanly, has those great hands, those good hands, soft hands to bring the ball in.
Ella Kaler doubled in her last at-bat. Ella and her sister Emma. Talked about the Hogue sisters. Clarksville has some sisters, more common in 1A. Fun to see. So let me tell you about their great aunt and their grandparents. No, I'm just kidding.
I was settling in for a really good story.
Oh, for me? Was somebody else here? It wasn't coming from me.
I was settling in, waiting for a good story.
Kaler out on strikes. Collins-Maxwell goes 1, 2, 3 in the 4th. And we're going to go to the 5th in a moment.
Get on the back.
AARP Iowa and Iowa PBS invite you to tune in to celebrate the fair.
Hey, guess what? I've got the key to the Iowa PBS archives room. And I'm gonna bust it wide open and show you almost 50 years of Iowa State Fair highlights. So plan to tune in August 10th through the 14th and relive the memories and the feel of that special State Fair excitement.
Hi, I'm Charity Nebbe. Are you ready for some State Fair fun at home? Record the kids telling a joke or sketch some art with sidewalk chalk. Try your hand at butter sculpting, decorating an ugly cake, or crafting a decorative face mask. You can even show us your pet's greatest tricks or write a State Fair poem. Try one or try them all. Visit iowapbs.org/fair for details.
Emma Poppy to battle here at the plate. Emma Poppy, her sister, tweeted back earlier this spring, you better have, hey IGHSAU, you better have softball this year, because I want Emma to rock it. Now, Emma's sister is someone named Maddie Poppy. She has a few followers, maybe the American Idol, and a strong supporter of her sister. And, you know, Emma gets asked that question a lot, and she's just, you know, that's my sister, and I move on. She's her own person, and, you know, love, respect everything that Maddie's done, but, you know, Emma's her own, and we talk about the accomplishments of Emma on the field, but you know that her family and her sister very supportive, because like many family members, they wanted to see their sisters or aunts or cousins get a chance to play softball this year.
Well, and Maddie is here somewhere in the crowd. She was here. I saw her in the semifinal game, and just very supportive. And I can't remember if it was a tweet or if it was on Facebook, but after they won the regional final, she posed with her sister holding the banner, because she said, I never picked up a sport in my entire life. I just wanted to hold the banner once. And so had a nice little photo shoot with her sister after that game, and here supporting this Clarksville team.
Chloe Ross to dig in now with one away in the 5th. Ross struck out in the 2nd. Hogue has just been really hitting a lot of spots. You know, Newman Catholic is who Collins-Maxwell played in the opener, and I'd seen Hogue play. I'd seen the highlights, you know, watched last year's title game and watched them play here, and you knew she was good, and I was kind of thinking, man, Newman, I know Newman can hit the ball. And, you know, when I asked her dad, I said, well, what'd you think of Michaela? He says, no, she just missed spots today. And if that happens, and it's a finite feel and twist and spin that makes the difference. A great looking pitch. I tell you, Michaela's on right now. Strikes out the first 2 of the inning as Ross is down, and that'll bring up Rachel Borchert.
I mean, it is a fine line. Now, if you're hitting that spot and freezing the hitter right at the knees, you're on. If you miss it by an inch and it's up in the zone enough that you can get the barrel of the bat through the zone and drive it, then you're off.
Borchert, the designated player. She was one of the strikeouts. She was the second strikeout. Michaela has 7 of them. Gets her hands extended. As you said, Laura, go where the pitch is.
And that's what you have to do, and you have to be able to pick up the ball right off of the release and adjust. And if the ball's on the outside corner, get that plate coverage and take it to right field. Don't try to pull it, because you'll pop it straight up.
That's what the pitcher wants you to do.
That's exactly what the pitcher wants you to do.
Popped up again, a little closer to home. That one was a trick shot. It landed here and then rolled to the right side, and Jean Berger got it. Executive director of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union. You know, she told me this week, I said, so, how the phone calls been? She said, we've gotten them, asking about, you know, distancing and spacing. I saw on the news all week you've been, you know, people are crowded all over. And she says, well, we've only been doing this one day. And it wasn't somebody from Iowa, it was somebody from out of state. So she knows other states have been watching what's been going on here in Iowa. Strike 3 on the outside corner. Rachel Borchert is down. That's number 8 as Hogue strikes out the side. You know, so these crowds, as we mentioned, there's a couple of masks around the necks, and these are the people that are together quite a lot. And Collins-Maxwell in their light blue shirts, and their fans, Laura, had wanted to come to Midnight Madness to start the year when they started practice at midnight, but the coaches had to say, so you got to stay home if you want to get to the state title game. And these fans have, you know, we talk about crowd side over the years, you know, having good crowds, and given the situation, yes, the crowds have been good.
I think, you know, high fives to the girls' union for taking the chance to be able to put on a season, and the boys' union to be able to put on baseball and softball here in the state of Iowa. And yes, we've lost some teams to testing positive and have had to drop out and had their season cut short. But to be able to get through it, hold 2 state tournaments, and we have not heard anything come out of this. And I'm sure it's early. We may hear something next week that there's going to be positive tests, and maybe not. We're outside, we're trying to distance, everybody's trying to do the right thing, but you know what, congratulations to Jean Berger and the union and the boys union for taking a chance and doing this and allowing these players, and especially the seniors, to have a season.
Braylon Tankersley swings and misses. And, you know, ask those teams that ducked out with the positive. That pitch is fouled back into the net. You just never know. If there's ever a lesson for life right now, Laura, you have to make every day count, because you never know when a game might be your last game.
Right.
Because somebody could have tested positive and the next day you were done.
Yeah.
Swing and a miss. Tankersley out. 3rd strikeout for Wedeking. First out here in the 5th. That'll bring in Olivia Pasquarello. Her name sounds Italian because she is. In fact, she's a cook and a delivery person. The family made a lasagna, and she took it over to Michaela Hogue before the semifinal game. Why did you do that, Olivia? I was bored.
Well, she's more the delivery person and not so much the cook.
Yeah.
I think it's her dad that's the lasagna chef, and she's just the delivery person.
I said, what's in it? What's in the lasagna? You would have thought I asked her, what's on the moon? Noodles, sauce, cheese. Ask a dumb question, and I deserve that. Because I was curious, was it like a special recipe? Was it, I always do this for this game? You just never know the quirky traditions that teams have.
Probably a secret family recipe, and then she couldn't divulge the ingredients.
I can tell you.
She's been sworn to secrecy.
Yeah.
I don't know. Michaela Hogue thinks it's pretty good, so she wasn't complaining.
That's a called strike from home plate umpire Arnie Kruko. Ross Hemsley's at first. Steve Ebert is at third. Olivia Pasquarello is at the plate. She's ahead in the count. 3 balls and a strike. Corey Wedeking breathes, winds, fires. Ground ball back to Wedeking, over to Poppy for the second out. So here's an adjustment, though, Laura, to the distancing thing. When the teams come together in the circle, we just saw Clarksville do it. It used to be you all touched 5 or, you made physical contact. I've enjoyed watching the air 5s or elbows that they've done. It's caused a new wrinkle in creativity.
Again, they've come up with something different. Can't do this? Okay, how do we make it fun and have the same kind of atmosphere and camaraderie that we've had in the past by doing the high fives or whatever we do in the circle?
Erica Hogue hits it on the nose right at Cheyenne Behrens for the 3rd out of the 5th. As Clarksville huddles up and talks about their lead, let's show you how they got their lead. Cheyenne Behrens, touch 'em all. And the air 5 from Coach.
There was an air 5 there on the way around.
And the rest of the highlights could just be strikeouts, because that's what it has been. 1-1-0 for Clarksville, 0-2-0 for Collins-Maxwell as we already proceed to the 6th inning for Clarksville. It'll be Jenna Myers, Kaylin Hardy, and Cheyenne Behrens. Hard to beat a team. You talk about it in basketball 3 times in a season. It's hard to beat a team 5 times in a row.
It is. It is. I think the odds are against you. I don't care how good you are, the odds are against you to sweep that and have a huge winning streak over another team. Somewhere along the line, you're going to lose one. And these two teams are so evenly matched that I'm surprised there is a winning streak that Collins-Maxwell has built over this Clarksville team. You would kind of figure it'd be back and forth, but Collins-Maxwell has had the upper hand over the last few years.
First pitch to Jenna Myers is a strike, and sometimes when you ask that question, what's it mean for this time or this time? And it's like, doesn't matter, I wasn't on the team 2 years ago. These are so many of the same players for both of these squads.
Well, they know each other very well. And I think they were kind of hoping that it would get to this point and they would meet up for a state championship again. And it has happened, and we're seeing a good one.
Swing and a miss on the pinch hitter. This is Mackenzie Bloker getting a bat. Bloker is a junior. Swings and misses. So Bloker was batting for Myers, and that'll be Kaylin Hardy's turn to now bat. Now, just because Clarksville has the lead, Laura, they also had the lead last year in the title game until the 6th. Bunt is down. Hogue fields the throw to first in time.
Boy, was that close. Hardy hustles down the line, and Hogue does a great job of hopping out of the circle and getting there and making the throw and catch, or the throw, fields the ball and the throw all in one motion. Didn't set herself, but just fielded that ball and came up firing across to first base.
Behrens to bat, swings at the one that was bounced. Mission accomplished for Michaela Hogue. She knew Behrens was going to be excited.
You can see, she knows. She got a little smile on her face, staring out there at Hogue and saying, okay, let's go after it again.
Challenge me. And she does, and Behrens delivers again. Back-to-back home runs for Cheyenne Behrens at bats.
Unbelievable. After that first pitch in the dirt, she waves over the top of it, collects herself, collects her thoughts, takes a look out to the circle, looks at Hogue and says, challenge me again. And Hogue did. And Behrens was up for the challenge, launches another one. Look at the excitement on her face.
I don't believe, no, I do believe what I just saw. You just knew one was going to challenge the other. So now Behrens will go in and tie a record for home runs in a tournament with 3, joining Amy Russell, Ashley Sykard, and Carly Welter. All done recently here. Home runs individual game. She's also tied several players with 2. And there's a base hit into center for Janet Borchert. And now Clarksville kind of knocking.
Saw this in the semifinal game where late in the ball game they started stringing the hits together and able to pull away in that game.
Well, the pitcher, Corey Wedeking, she'd probably like to help herself a little bit.
Ball.
First pitch ball from Hogue. This is where Michaela's going to have to figure out 2 runs is all I can give up. This is too tight of a game.
Ball.
Yeah, this is where she needs to refocus, zero in, put that home run behind her. 2 runs is not a lot to overcome. They do have the bats in their lineup that can do it. They can string hits together as well.
And there's a well-hit ball to left, but it's going to be a little too much underneath it, and Wedeking is out on the deep fly, but not before Clarksville adds another via the same as the other. The bottom of the 6th with a 2-0 lead on the 2 home runs by Cheyenne Behrens give the Indians the advantage.
Okra is a staple of Southern cuisine, used in stews, barbecues, and sometimes it's the star of the show. I'm Charity Nebbe. On the next Iowa Ingredient, we'll visit an Iowa vegetable farm to see how okra is grown. Then Chef Lynn Pritchard will stop by the kitchen to share a few delicious recipes using okra. All that and more on the next Iowa Ingredient.
Saturday morning at 11:30 on Iowa PBS.
Coming up on a special edition of Iowa Press, we dive into the legacy of the Americans with Disabilities Act. 30 years after passage, what does the ADA mean today? And what policies may impact the disability community as they look to the future? We'll discuss this on this special edition of Iowa Press.
Sunday at noon on Iowa PBS.
Well, the faithful in the blue, light blue and white, hoping for similar results as before. 2018 against IGHSAU, it was a 1-0 walk-off single. Then last year, it was a come from behind, 2 runs in the bottom of the 6th. We go to the bottom of the 6th. How fitting. Thank you, Chris Andringa. Thank you for watching on Iowa PBS as we bring you live, commercial-free, uninterrupted, play-by-play, all 99 counties across Iowa and across the World Wide Web. As the pitch to Trinity Stover is a called strike, and it's even up at a ball and a strike. All 99, and we've seen people from a lot of those counties this week. Those that have moved away are looking for some live sports, and they might be watching, so we're glad to have you here. And if you're following along on social media, you can always tag us and say where you're watching from. I'm sure they would love to hear where you're doing that. You can always give us that follow on Facebook or Twitter. Foul ball just off the reach of Hardy. And this crew here in Fort Dodge this week, Laura, they've brought you, this is game 5 of championships. Cameras all over. The truck has been working hard as they try to distance. They've moved a couple of people out and tried to spread out and try to make sure that we bring this game to you as that pitch sails out of the zone. All right, you got to get these one hit at a time, right?
2 balls, 2 strikes.
Got to get a runner.
If you're Collins-Maxwell, you got to be patient. I know you're 6th inning, but you've got to have base runners, and you got to be smart about every at-bat.
You heard Coach Wedeking say it's early in the game. Well, it's not early now. You're down to your last 6 outs if you're Collins-Maxwell.
And Stover doing a great job. They feel like she's always had a good eye at the plate. She walks a fair amount, turns that lineup over, and she has speed, so they have speed at the bottom and at the top of the lineup. So this is a key moment. If she can get on, that brings up the top of the order in Alexis Hogue, and that's 2 speedsters potentially on the base paths.
Yeah, Stover, A, you're batting from the left side. B, you're trying to slap at it, so you've got that 1-2 advantage to get down the line. Let's see what she does on the 3-2 pitch. Punches it to third, over to first. Hardy to Poppy, out 1.
Punched it down the third base line, and Hardy had it played perfectly. She was standing with almost 1 foot on the chalk line. She was not going to let anything get by her down the line.
8 of the 16 outs have come via the ground ball. Some pitchers do it with strikeouts, some pitch to contact, let them put it in play, let your defense work.
I think the defense has done a really nice job here this evening, and keeping the ball on the ground. They're doing a great job of keeping their head down and fielding the ball.
Alexis Hogue, she's gonna be on base. My goodness. I blinked and she was there.
Yeah, did you see how fast she got down the line? And that was a perfect bunt. Just deadened the ball, and nobody could get to it quick enough. And when Hardy did get to it, she just picked it up and put it back in the circle into Wedeking's hand.
We need 2, so we gotta be smart. Because we need 2, so we gotta be smart here. So you can only go if you got it here, okay? You gotta look at what you can get through here. If you can get, if they stay back a little bit, you can get a bunt down a line here to get yourself on, do that. But otherwise, I just need you to get something that gets you on here as well. So we get 2 on when we get her up here, okay? So you can do your slug bunt, you can do a slug, anything there, but something that's going to get you on as well, okay? What you feel, and then you got to just read.
Does she go the first one?
You can go if you want, but if you have it, go ahead. But if you don't have it, okay, remember, we're down by 2, so we got to be smart, so, okay? Here we go.
Trey Hogue mic'd up as we listen in on the coaches, and always a good part to gain a little bit of insight, understand the situation, and thanks for allowing us to listen in there. And Coach Hogue had said he missed being in the dorms too, because he liked to go back after the championship and go back and watch the games at 4 in the morning. First pitch thrown into center field, and here comes the throw to third. This is going to be safe. Throw beater, but Hogue was able to get under it. The throw into center, missed second base completely, but Borchert threw, And the home plate umpire had rotated down, and Arnie Kruko had called that one pretty early. We've got another conference.
Again, anything you do, you got to see where they're playing you here, okay? Like I said, a slug might be good right here if you have it to get yourself on as well. But again, see where they're playing. If they're up and if they're back enough and you can get a bunt on a line that you can beat out, do that. It's got to be something to get you on as well here, okay? At least get the run in here and give us something to go with.
Can I see the slug?
What?
If they're both in the lines, can I see the slug?
Yeah, slug if you want to. Yeah, just something that you can, I just need something where you can line it through and hard. If they're in, then do that, okay? Here we go.
You want to talk about a slide, Laura? Look at this slide.
Getting down low, getting that foot in right before the tag. The tag was up on the back leg on the knee. That front leg gets in before the tag was put on. And you kind of knew, at least I felt, when Coach Hogue said, you got a reader, you've got to make your own decision. I knew that Alexis Hogue was going to go. She was going to go on that first pitch no matter what, and she made things happen. She took a chance, and the throw went a little high. Almost ran herself out of that inning by getting thrown out at third, but a great slide over there.
Emma Kaler's looking to slug here. Swings and misses. The ball gets by Lauren, but not enough.
One ball, 2 strikes.
Kaler knows the pitches. She knows what to look for. She's got that great eye. Let's see what the eye tells her now.
Ball.
It said take. That ball was headed up. Again, Clarksville pitching high. Because if you're going to bunt it, you're going to put it in the air. Coach calls Kaler unselfish because so many times she's sacrificed. That pitch is high. 3-2.
And just taking a look at the defense, already really in at third base. Everybody else at normal depth.
Swung on and missed, strike 3, right on through. Huge strikeout for Corey Wedeking.
She'd gone up, and then right down the middle on the inside part of the plate.
You have to pitch to Hogue here because you can't put the tying run on base, can you?
I think you have to be very careful.
They'll go right after on the first pitch strike. They don't think she's going to be bunting. Michaela will be swinging away. Coach calls her the best power hitter we have. She's a danger when they want to pitch to her. Wedeking challenges her. And now she's ahead 0-2. And the other thing you have to think of, this is the heart of the Collins-Maxwell order, Laura.
Yeah, you're sitting at number 3 in the lineup. And she's looking to keep this inning going.
Pops it up, or fouls it back again.
Just lagging behind a little bit, cannot catch up to that rise ball.
She's gonna throw her a third rise ball at 0-2. And she does. Strikes out Michaela Hogue. 5th strikeout of the game. 3rd out of the 6th. You gotta come back. The 7th inning when we return.
On Masterpiece Mystery. No matter how many cases you solve, more bad people you put away, there's always another one standing right behind them.
Why do it if you hate it so much?
Because the dead deserve justice.
We have to face the facts, Thursday. We got it wrong.
If you want to catch him, then you need me.
Who do you think you're talking to?
Some things are unforgivable.
I can't save you.
Then no one can.
New season of Endeavor on Masterpiece Mystery.
Coming to Iowa PBS August 9th.
I, Harry Weiland, was a wet behind-the-ears 22-year-old Brooklyn film student back in 1968 when the then 36-year-old Johnny Cash agreed to let me chronicle 8 months of his life at home and on the road. Johnny Cash and Me allows Johnny to tell his own story through his actions, his words, and more importantly, through his music.
Coming to Iowa PBS August 21st.
Feeling pretty loose in the Clarksville dugout. Little different look from Collins-Maxwell.
A little tension over there in that dugout. The tale of two teams in this ball game.
Lauren, Poppy, and Ross due up for Clarksville. First pitch is a strike to Ainsley Lauren. She's 0 for 2, flied out in her last appearance.
She hit a home run in the regular season game against Collins-Maxwell. In that 2-1 loss.
Swung on and fouled and pulled into the playground area. Got around on that one.
Yeah, had a rip at it. Spoiled that pitch.
Sit and change.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
She's locked in. The 1-2.
Ball.
Boy, good call. You called the off speed, and they did. She didn't bite on it.
These hitters, I mean, they study film, tendencies. They look at what they can, what likely's coming. I think that one, I think Hogue got away with one there.
Yeah, I think Lovren just turned on it. That ball had a good chunk of the plate. She was just a little too quick.
She wants a different ball.
You know, and there could be some moisture out there in the grass. And I think maybe that's why they're going to switch the ball out.
Defensive team provides the softballs. It's been kind of fun to see the big orange buckets hauling in these specially marked Union softballs. They've got a nice Union logo on them.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
The 2-2 bounces to Lauren, and the count is full. Emma Poppy on deck.
3 balls, 2 strikes.
Top of the 7th. Clarksville looking to extend their 2-0 lead. And that's a called third strike.
A little bit of a delayed call. Let's take a look at it. That ball's right knee high. And the umpire rings her up.
First pitch to Poppy is low. Poppy 0 for 2. She's going to play basketball at Buena Vista. She was part of the 5 straight hits against Lisbon. Comebacker to Hogue to throw over to first. To Tankersley. And there's 2 away in the Clarksville 7th. Due up for Collins-Maxwell, Franzen, Kaler, Tankersley. That's 4, 5, and 6. That's a pretty good part of the order, too. So it will not be easy for Clarksville. Chloe Ross, first pitch strike.
Getting that call in the lower part of the zone. I think they might continue to stay there. Franzen doing a good job of handling Hogue.
Popped up and drifting out of play. You have to take it. No, it has to go to the home team. No, it has to go to that one.
No, here, you get rid. I don't want it. Hot potato. It's a hot potato.
It is.
Is that Jean Berger again?
No, that's Kath.
Oh, that's Kathy Creighton.
That would have been Kathy Creighton,
yeah.
the supervisor of umpires.
You know, Franzen's doing a good job behind the plate. She made that transition. She was third baseman a year ago and made that transition to behind the plate and doing a good job of catching Hogue.
The 11th strikeout of the game sets up Collins-Maxwell. They're going to have 2 to tie the bottom of the 7th in a moment. You're watching Iowa PBS Sports.
George Bush took office at the beginning of 3 years of nonstop foreign policy crises.
Things were moving so fast on the ground.
That's a way to do it if you're going to do it right.
The liberation of Eastern Europe and the reunification of Germany, victory in the Cold War, the collapse of the Soviet Union. You talk about closure.
Tuesday evening at 9 on Iowa PBS.
This month in Passport, your on-demand library of the best of PBS.
Great private detectives.
Still the same old Frankie.
Staying out of trouble?
Well, where's the fun in that?
George Bush hardly had a chance. Almost out of the gate, he's hit with 9/11.
Our team of spy creatures reveal the astonishing variety of life across the globe.
These and other shows are available with Passport. Become a member of this PBS station, sign in, and start streaming today.
We had a 1-0 game, and now we have a 2-0 game. Bottom of the 7th, it's do or die time. Now or never for Collins-Maxwell, Regan Franzen, Ella Kaler, Braylon Tankersley due up for the Spartans, the 2-time defending champions in Class 1A. First pitch from Corey Wedeking is a strike.
Well, you're thinking base runner at this point. Get on any way that you can.
That's another strike. The Spartans started practice as early as was allowed by the law at midnight. The team gathered. The parents stood to the side waiting to give them a ride home. They couldn't watch practice. They're watching them here in this championship game. Wedeking's pitch is high at 0-2. It'll be 1-2 now.
Kind of started out as a joke.
Yeah.
Because coach asked them when do they want to practice, and not knowing everybody's schedules, and he said, what do you want to go, 2, 3, 4 in the morning? What do you want to do? And he finally said, what if we went at midnight? And the kids kind of thought that was a great idea, and it grew from there, and they did a midnight madness practice.
6th strikeout for Wedeking. And he said it was all business from the get-go. This was a team that knew what they wanted to accomplish. And they wanted that three-peat. Chad, your monitor's okay. It'll be fine. It's not cracked. It still works. We're right behind home, Laura. You can see the plate. You're taller. Yeah. Called strike to Kaler. She doubled in the 2nd. Wedeking's only given up 3 hits. One of them was to Kaler.
3 hits for both of these teams. For Clarksville, 2 of them are home runs and belong to Cheyenne Behrens.
Ground ball to Hardy, over to first. There's 2 away in the 7th.
Looks like Poppy might have gotten stepped on over there at first. As Kaler was trying to hustle down the line, she's trying to stretch things out. I think she's going to be okay.
Tankersley, the last hope for the Spartans, fouls the first pitch down the line as we approach 9 o'clock on Friday night, July the 31st, 2020. Great day of softball, great championship games all around. This one, like the others, as the sun sets in the western skies, Wedeking winds and fires.
Ball.
High, ball 1. Tankersley 0 for 2, trying to just keep the line moving. Wedeking dialed in, heaves, ground ball, foul. Collins-Maxwell's down to their last strike.
As a hitter, you just need to relax.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
Choke up, shorten up the swing a little bit. Just put it in play. Try to get that base hit.
High. And boy, Tankersley thought about it.
Boy, great job of holding up.
No emotion there from Coach Wedeking.
And as a pitcher, you just want to make the perfect pitch right here and get the strikeout in the ball game.
The 2-2, swung out and missed. It's a state championship for Clarksville. 5th time's the charm, and the Indians have claimed the 1A crown in 2020. It went up the ladder to Tankersley, that rise ball, and then they busted out of the dugout. And this team can dance, and they're going to dance tonight.
That never gets old, watching that celebration.
We're going to find out now who's on the all-tournament team. I have a guess on a couple of players.
Yeah, I do too. I have a guess on who might be captain.
I do too.
Clarksville, Ainsley Lovren. From Collins-Maxwell, Alexis Hogue. From Newman Catholic, Haley Worman. From Linville Sully, Mallory Loftus. From Linville Sully, Corinne Jensen. From Lisbon, Peyton Robinson. From Clarksville, Janet Borchert. From Collins-Maxwell, Reagan Franzen. From Clarksville, Corey Wedeking. From Collins-Maxwell, Michaela Hogue. And your Class 1A All-Tournament Team Captain, from Clarksville, Cheyenne Behrens.
I'm not sure if you would have said Cheyenne Behrens was going to be the all-tournament captain coming into this tournament. I would have believed you. But we have a non-pitcher as the captain of the team. When you hit 2 home runs in the championship game, it's the only 2 runs of the game. You earned your spot.
Absolutely. Well-deserved and a well-played game. She added another home run in the quarterfinals as well, an inside the park variety. So quite a tournament for Behrens. And Wedeking was tough. 7 innings pitched, only 3 hits. No walks with 7 strikeouts, 80 pitches. Very efficient in the circle for Wedeking. Of those 80, 54 strikes. She was in and around the zone all night long.
A lot of balls put into play, kept the defense in it, and kept the Spartans off balance.
In addition to receiving medallions, every participating player will receive a commemorative softball provided by Iowa Farm Bureau, title sponsor of the Girls Athletic Union. Presenting awards are members of the IGHSAU Board of Directors, Travis Fleshler, Roger Francis, and Ron Fodness. Congratulations to the runners-up in Class 1A, head coach Troy Hogue and the Collins-Maxwell Spartans on an outstanding 2020 softball season. And presenting your 2020 Class 1A State Softball Champions, head coach Katie Wedeking and the Indians from Clarksville.
It was the third title game for Clarksville. They were runners-up in 17 and 19. They're champions here in 20. Their only loss of the season, they wipe out against Collins-Maxwell here in the title game. Coach Hoke told us earlier this week, Laura, if Clarksville wins, hats off to them. They deserved it. He said if both teams are on their game, look out, and he was right.
He was right. He predicted it, and it was every bit what we thought it was going to be. It was a pitcher's duel. Got a couple of key hits for Clarksville to give them their runs. You can see them hoisting that state tournament trophy. Finally got the champions trophy and not the runner-up trophy, and this was a really well-played game, as were the other two before them.
4 of the 5 champions in 2020 all won it for the first time. Kennedy in 5A, Albia in 3A, Ogden in 2A, Clarksville in 1A. Winterset was the only veteran with 3. Thank you so very much for making us a part of this historic state softball tournament. We got to play softball, and it was darn good. Thank you so very much for watching. Great job by this crew. We appreciate you watching. Good night, and we'll see you, hopefully, in volleyball. Good night.
Funding provided by Fairway Meat and Grocery is a proud sponsor of the Iowa Girls State Softball Championships. Fairway believes in supporting the places Iowans learn, work, live, and play. Congratulations to all the schools and student athletes in this year's games. By Musco Lighting, the sports lighting specialists, providing lighting systems for you, your project, and your community.